Apparently, during the Last Supper, when Jesus says, "This is my covenant with you, take and drink it," what the disciples would have heard was, "Will you marry me?" Because in those days, when it was time for a young Jewish boy to marry a young Jewish girl, his dad would talk to her dad and they'd decide on a price. It could be like 50 camels. This was the price for the opportunity to propose. And the way he would propose would be by gathering the family, filling a cup with wine, sliding it across the table, and saying to her, "This is my covenant with you. Will you drink it?" And if she drank it, that was her way of saying, "I do." And when she said, "I do," she'd go back to her town, he'd go back to his town, and they wouldn't talk for the rest of the engagement period. They would only communicate through the best man. She would have her name changed. She would be called one who was bought with a price. What was she doing? She was keeping watch because she didn't know the day, the time, or the hour. What was the groom doing? He was building a mansion. A mansion. Before you get excited, the Aramaic word for mansion means addition. And he was building onto his parents' house. It was called an insula, a family dwelling over generations. And here's the trippy part. He didn't get to decide when it was finished. Only the father did. But once the father gave him the green light, he'd gather his groomsmen and they'd blow shofars coming into her town. And she would hear the horns and she'd come down the stairs and they'd lead a procession back to his town. And they'd get married, make little rabbis, live happily ever after. Does any of this sound familiar? Scholars say Jesus took the third cup in the Passover feast, which traditionally was set aside for the coming Messiah. So by drinking it, he was saying, "Yeah, it's me." But then when he says, "This is my blood of the new covenant," he just launched into a whole new metaphor. And then what does he say? He says, "I'm going home to my father's house where there's many mansions, and I'm going to prepare a place for you. I need you in the meantime to keep watch. You are one who is bought with a price, and you don't know the day, the time, or the hour, but take heart. I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm going to send my best man, the Holy Spirit, and he's going to communicate between me and you. And one day, not me, but the Father will decide when the mansion's finished. And when he gives me the green light, I'm going to gather my groomsmen, the holy angels, and they'll blow their shofars, the four trumpets from the four corners of the earth, and I'm going to bring you home for the marriage supper of the Lamb. This Christmas, I hope you know that Jesus is offering us himself. And he is saying, "This is my covenant with you. Will you drink it?"